We're checking, folks. Back with another reaction, back with some more Eurythmics. And we're going to listen to one of two bonus tunes included in the expanded folder for their 1986 album Revenge, big shout out to Philip, that are not different mixes of tracks already on the album. Now, I want to go through at least a couple of those bonus tracks before we move on, and eventually, maybe after we go farther forward, we'll circle back and we'll hit remaining mixes and remixes from previous albums, as I've been doing with some other deep dives where I'll catch up with some stragglers after we've continued the main part of the journey. But I wanted to react to the two non-remix tracks, the two bonus tracks that are different, new tunes compared to, I think it's the other 3 or 4 that are remixes or extended mixes of tracks on the album. But, the extended mix of Missionary Man, I definitely want to listen to that before we move on, so... we'll go through a couple of those before going to the next album. But yeah, Revenge 2, I do remember listening to Revenge, the original, on In the Garden. Incidentally, I blame that album for forever causing problems when I've reacted to John Foxx's In the Garden. Oh wait, no, it's just the Garden album. Which is to say, anyone who knows my bloopers will know there were several bloopers where I was trying to say The Garden by John Foxx and I kept saying In the Garden, so I blame Dave and Annie. Nevertheless, that version of Revenge, it was like this crazy tune. It's a bit psychedelic. It doesn't feel like a vengeful tune sonically. It feels a bit sort of mentally chaotic. It feels a bit all over the place. There's like laughing, like vocals, and sort of like conversational sound, it feels like. So it's a pretty crazy tune, and one that has this sort of psychedelic chaos to it, but also some really incredible vocal moments from Annie as it gets into the later part of the tune, and it's a really well produced track. It's a track that I think hints at the recipe, the ingredients that would perhaps flower more incredibly on subsequent tracks and albums as I've gone through the 80s, at least the first half of the 80s. That's right, I did also go through Savage already, that's 87, so most of the 80s of their material. But bottom line, I'm curious to hear how similar to or different from the first Revenge track. I wonder if it'll have some of the same atmosphere. I wonder about the vocals. In the moment, I don't remember them really. Like, I have to say, I was so focused on the sort of psychedelic haze of the track and eventually just the striking vocal moments independent of the lyrics that were being conveyed. I'll have to try to catch up on that, and I look forward to hearing people comment. But sonically, I do remember it pretty well, so curious to hear what they will do with the second part. This is Revenge 2, a bonus track, presumably a B-side, included in an expanded folder for the 1986 Eurythmics album, Revenge. But it feels more focused in its attitude. A bit bossier, maybe. Piano keyboard chords have this like vintage 80s feel as I hear them. Again, she can do anything vocally. Like there's nothing that's beyond possibility to hear Annie do. Just setting Annie loose in the studio. Just like make sure it's recorded. Just record everything she's doing right now. Yeah, okay, so it feels like a bigger, jazzier, more confident and maybe bossy tune. Again, it doesn't feel particularly vengeful or angry. Just very confident and calculating in the revenge, which that seems to fit very clearly lyrically, but yeah, the first version, so far as I remember, had this, there's like voices coming from different angles, and the sound is a bit like hazy, and it just had a different feel, whereas this one, it's big, it's bombastic, it's very, like I said, focused and driven, so yeah, it felt like, again, maybe more confident, but not necessarily more vengeful, at least if that's linked to feelings of anger, which, I feel like that must underlie the sentiment that, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to keep you guessing and you're never going to see it coming and so on. But it's like a cold, like, anger. It's I'm going to measure this. I'm going to make sure I get it right. I'm not just going to fly off the handle because I'm furious. So, yeah, this one seems to, like, fit the sonic flavor you would expect from the lyrics a bit better, but ultimately, yeah, I wonder, because as I said, I don't really remember the lyrics as I went through the first version, so are they identical, are they different? I think the idea that it's, it's very sweet, and, the idea of waiting for the right time, I think that still was the sentiment, if I recall, but be curious to hear what people have to say. In any case, as I mentioned, I will go through the other bonus tune. Maybe I still have the folder. I do still have it open. Shout out to Philip. So the next one is My Guy, which makes me wonder if it's a cover of that classic sort of Motown soul tune, which that would be my assumption, but I don't know that for sure. So be curious to hear when we get there. As I said, there's at least a couple, like maybe When Tomorrow Comes and Missionary Man. In fact, there's a live acoustic version. You know what, screw it, we might just go through, because there's 4 additional tracks that are other versions of album tunes, so forget everything I said at the front end. This will be a test if you watch the whole video. But yeah, I'll just go through all of the bonus material, and then we'll go on to the next album. So once again, shout out to Philip and all the people sharing music with me, either digitally, or people who've actually mailed me things. And indeed, shout out to Darren if you end up seeing this. I just got another package in the mail today. So yeah, endless shenanigans, hopefully going forward, and already in the present here on Acid Techno Street. So shout out to all of you who helped make that happen. Let me know what you think of this. Looking forward to hearing, as I said, the next repeat tune or different version of a track, as well as the bonus tunes. So let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.